Alright guys, today I fixed a throttle problem that I had on my XP and on all of my other jet skis. So I have 4 jet skis. It happened to literally all 4 of them this year. Not sure what it is about this year. But you Seadoo guys might know that these little black throttle pins tend to break. And I don't know, never happened to me before, but 4 different skis this year. So this girl's number 5 and I'm just going to do it preemptively because why not? You may also know that these things are like 20 freaking dollars just for some old, broken down shit that's just gonna break. So we're not doing that. I know you can buy 3D printed ones for slightly cheaper, but my method is even cheaper than that. So probably breaking this pin, don't really care. Yeah, we'll just remove this crap, get that out of there, because we're not gonna need that anymore. Useless shit. Leave you stranded if your throttle breaks all the way off. Ask me how I know. So yeah, pretty good fun ride in 7-foot swells on Lake Michigan on my XP with, holding the throttle with both hands. Anyways, so of course they just fall out when you're trying to ride, but when you're trying to take them out, of course they don't come out. And what I found works best is just a bolt. Hopefully you can see that. I tried to get one with a rounded head, looks a little better. If I could get a hex head one, I could, but this is just what they had at Lowe's late at night. Stainless steel, that's the most important. You don't want to put anything on here that's not stainless steel. So as you'll notice, it doesn't fit all the way because the hole is the right size. However, I don't know if you can see, it actually curves around the bars, which is why I don't recommend taking this off to do it because the plastic will actually relax and it won't line up. So this is a number 10, 1024 bolt, by the way. It's also 5mm if you want to keep the thing all metric, or if you're like me, you can use what they have here, and then the next guy who tries to use metric tools on this can be all pissed off. So this is a 13/64 drill bit. That's like 5.2mm. Whoa, that was awesome. Don't do whatever I just did. Now I'm lazy and I got a bolt that was too long, so thread it through like that. That is a 2.5-inch bolt, by the way. Kind of looks like you could easily make do with a 2-inch, but That's a little tight. Now we don't need the power drill anymore. Once you get one that feels good, call it a day. We get this little hacksaw here, and we're gonna cut off the extra. Oh, so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. That's a locknut, by the way. Nylon locknut, all stainless, and just number 10 locknut, number 10 washers. Or 5mm if that's available. Alright, now, is that sharp edge on the bottom going to bother anybody? Probably not. It doesn't seem to get caught on my finger, but what I like to do is lose my washers. What we're going to do is we're just going to take another washer. And that's going to space that bolt up just a little bit. And that way, the edge that you just cut is now inside of that nylon, and it's not going to be scratching anybody's finger or any, weird thing that might happen. And there we go. Blow off that with an air compressor and call it a day. Now, this doesn't seem to affect, it get in the way or anything. It's not sharp. And you can also do the same thing with all thread and 2 lock nuts if you can't find any bolts that would work for this. But like I said, I got that at Lowe's, so it's not that hard to find. I would have just waited till the day when the hardware store was open after work, I probably could have got a nice 5mm with a hex head, you know, an Allen head or something, metric, but whatever. This is America. Freedom units. There you go. 5 minutes. Now your damn throttle's never going to fall off again. I think that's good.